Like Jesse. Okay.
Like Jack
We'll
Daniels.
see. We'll see.
All right, we ready, y'all.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Fleming, and I'm with Risque Cafe, and I'm here interviewing the author of the Man's Handbook for Choosing the Right Woman, Jack A. Daniels.
Yeah.
How you doing, Jack A?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great.
Yeah, with Jack A, you made
Jack
it sound so formal. I mean, that's my middle initial.
Jack Daniels.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, JD.
Yeah. Okay.
So, you were here last night for Healing the Hood.
Right.
What made you so passionate about wanting to help the community? What inspires you to want to help children in the inner city and the community as a whole?
Well, it's a lot of things that inspire me. I am a product of my environment, an economically challenged environment, but a lot of other black people just call it the hood. So for me to give back in any respect, there's a lot of people that are pontificating like they are leaders, and a lot of times that they don't actually lead by example. They just lead from wherever they are, and they don't actually connect to the people. Well, I believe in the people. I believe doing things for the people and by the people. I've done several things in order to be a champion of change, especially when you're talking about men. So I believe in leadership. I believe in love. I believe in service, and I believe in sacrifice. And Healing the Hood was just a wonderful initiative and endeavor that I thought the city of Memphis was doing, and I wanted to get behind it, and I wanted to try to participate as much as I can. Anything that is for the betterment of the community, I'm all for.
And I understand that concept because the Risque Cafe has a program that we're hosting called Losing for Literacy.
Yeah.
And it's going to merge together a healthy eating lifestyle as well as education, and promoting that. So it's important for you to have to mesh both words. And I like what you said about sacrificing and being a product of the hood, helping the hood.
Right.
You know, so that's very important.
But and in addition to that, it sounds like you guys have the wonderful thing about you guys' program is that health is so important, especially for the black community. I mean, and men in general, we have so many health risks stemming from stress levels, prostate cancer, heart risk, heart disease, high blood pressure, hypertension. So our eating habits are very important, and it's important for us to be educated about our eating habits and everything else. So I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm passionate about that too.
We feel the passion.
Okay, good.
We want all that good stuff. But you have a column in St. Louis. Could you tell us more about your column that
it's just not in St. Louis. It's actually it's a column that's entitled For the Fellas, and it discusses the passions, plights, and purposes of black men. And it's in 38 newspapers and magazines across the country with over 2 million readers worldwide. It's something that has been phenomenal in terms of support and people that are actually looking forward to getting it. It comes out on a weekly basis. If you don't, or if your city doesn't have it, here we can get it to you on email. The power is in the information. It talks about some of the things that real men discuss. So it's real talk for real men. Because there's so many times that I'd be reading an article about how good a man is supposed to be, or what a man wants, how a man feels, and I scroll down to the end of the article, and it was some woman that wrote it. Now, how do you know what I want, and how do you know what I feel? You probably do in some respects, but I thought it was very important and imperative for it to come from a man's perspective, because men know how men feel, think, act, and want to respond to certain situations and circumstances. So For the Fellas is doing very well. You can look it up on the internet, Google it, and find me. You can find me at www.press-pause.com. That's press-pause, like you press the pause button on your iPod player, your CD player, or your 8-track, whatever the case may be if you're old school. You can find me on there, and then we'll get an email to you.
Okay. So that's a very important thing to understand. You know, dealing with relationships and all that good stuff. It's important to be. You can be introspective, but you'll never be a woman.
Right.
And I'll never be a man.
Right.
So that's very important to understand the opinions and the thoughts and the emotions of a male, coming from a male perspective.
Absolutely.
And that hence your book, the handbook.
Hence the book.
Hence the book.
Now that's the book is now listen to it. The Man's Handbook for Choosing the Right Woman. Listen to the subtitle.
Say it again.
The Man's Handbook for Choosing the Right Woman. Now the subtitle. Understanding our relationship rosters and what makes men afraid of settling down.
And that's what we need to know.
Oh.
That's what we need to know.
Oh.
Okay, so what's going on with Jack A. Daniels? going to be the next move, the things upcoming for you? What do you got going?
You know, I'm so encompassing. I'm very eclectic in nature. I have a lot of things always going on, regardless of who I am, where I am, who I'm around. I'm sorry, and where I am. I'm a therapist. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a nationally syndicated columnist, and now currently I'm an author. So I got a lot on my plate already.
Man of many hats.
I'm a man of many hats.
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Okay, all right.
But I'm a champion for change. So a lot of people have called me the men's relationship resource. So I'm somebody that believes in men. And in order for us to get our relationships back to where we need, in order for us to get our community back to where we need it to be, I believe in championing that charge for change. So I'm trying to teach men how to become better men in every respect, in every category, whether it's through syndicated columns, whether it's through therapy, whether it's through handbooks or the books that I put out. However possible, I think that we're the leaders that need to get our community and collective culture back to where it belongs. And if we don't have the audacity and boldness to do that, we'll never be the people that we're supposed to be, and we'll forever be, in my eyes, fugitives forging falsified illusions of faithfulness in relationships and or life in general. So what's next for me? Look for me on a city near you coming. The Man's Handbook Tour is coming. We're in Memphis right now, but we are actually heading to Detroit next. Then we're going to Columbus, Ohio. Then we're going to Houston. From Houston, we're going to Louisiana. From Louisiana, we're going to Baltimore. Baltimore, I think is North Carolina then. So, I mean, it's a lot of things slated, but my charge and challenge, like I said, is to try to help men heal some of the hurts that they've been carrying with them and try to teach them how to become better men and how to reduce their fears of commitment by learning to understand why they do what they do in the context of relationships.
And it's very important because a lot of times we hear of the black community. What, in your opinion, because the black community to me is not a community anymore. We've become so complacent and so individualized.
Right.
So do you feel as though that there is still yet a black community, or what are your thoughts on the black community?
I think there is, but I think it's exactly what you just said. There are too many of us that have become inebriated on the drugs of our own success. In fact, I think that we've traded in the village. It takes a village to raise a people concept, and traded it in for 4-bedroom, 2-car garage houses out in the suburbs. And that whole I got mine, you get yours attitude is very prevalent within our community, and it needs to cease. In fact, we migrated more to the European philosopher Descartes' philosophy. I think, therefore I am, instead of our inherited African philosophy. We think, therefore we are. And it's too many of our fathers drifting, suffering from irresponsibility, too many of our mothers overworked, underpaid, and suffering from their own individual crises of intimacy and identity. All the while our children are stuck raising their hands with questions that no one has the answers to because we're too stuck on ourselves. And in fact, it's that opera attitude that we have, that whole me. It's all about, and the bottom line is, it's not about you. And so you have to realize that it's about the collective culture in general. And for us to get to that point, we have to stop psychologically sabotaging our success and happiness, so then we'll realize that it's not about us. And until we learn that, and until we learn, my signature phrase is stay out of your own way. And until we as a community and a collective culture learn how to stay out of our own ways, we'll forever be doomed and destined to just be in the pitfalls of depression and repression and everything else you want to throw into that bucket of gumbo that we will. Yeah.
And assimilating to the European nature that it is me.
It's not, but it's not me. It's not about you.
And it's
about
perpetuating through our children.
It is, and I hate that, and I think it's a systemic cycle that has to be cut off. And I think it starts by perpetuating the existence of true leadership. And in order to have true leadership, you have to get the men back on the right track. And that's what I try to do to the best of my ability, is try to educate, enlighten, empower, and somewhat entertain men and get them to understand how to get back onto the right track. So that's who I am. Okay. That's my charge. That's my challenge. And I'm going to do it to the day I die.
Okay. Well, you heard it here. Jack A. Daniels. Exquisite man. Author. Therapist.
Yeah.
What else?
Syndicated columnist.
Columnist. Yeah. Everything. Jack of all trades.
There we go.
Check his book out. Check him out in the city near you. Thanks.